Hey there everybody, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the basics of how to add sound dampening or sound deadening material to your vehicle. So if you hear a lot of road noise or you just want to hear your audio system better, stay tuned. I'm going to be covering some quick and easy, cheap tricks to do that in this video. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the channel for new content. Alright, so jumping straight in, I'm not sponsored by anyone in this video, so all of these items that I'm using and recommending are just from my own personal experience. If you're not familiar with sound deadening material, a roll like this, for example, I bought at an audio store near me. I believe they said it's either 2 or 3 layers and it's 11 feet, and this was about $120. I prefer Dynamat personally, but again, you can pick out whatever brand works best for you. Basically, this reduces vibrations and is going to help us to have a better or more quiet ride. So you'll see this material, if you have multiple layers, it'll typically have this metallic or aluminum piece in the middle or whatever material that is. Be careful not to cut yourself if you're running along the edges of it. But basically, you just cut out whatever size chunks you need and you'll peel off this brown piece to apply it. And it has a sticky adhesive piece on the other side. And then this side is just a soft, rubbery type of feel. So you can roll it out, cut out just like you would if you were wrapping a gift, and then apply it to anywhere that you see fit. Now here's where we get into the strategy piece. So I recommend walking around the outside of your vehicle and kind of mapping this out. So the road noise is typically going to be generated where you're going to have a lot of airflow or near the tires. So especially if you have tires with a lot of tread, you will notice that you're going to have a lot of road noise here. So you're probably going to want to hit the inside of the wheel well, and then you're probably going to want to hit the door panels on the inside as well. So be careful popping out panels, dealing with any wiring in your car. Make sure that you're disconnecting the battery and following all necessary precautions. So you can pull the door panels off, the interior trim, get underneath the carpet, but the idea is to get as close to the source of the noise as possible. So I'm trying to stick this directly to the chassis. Again, make sure that you're careful if you're going to put it in the engine bay. I don't know what's rated for that level of heat, and you don't want it to peel off over time and then potentially damage the engine either or other components. So we'll give you a quick and basic overview of what we're doing here. These are not the best examples, but again, I'm going to link in the description to a video where I actually did this in more detail, but the video quality was not that great, unfortunately. So I'm redoing it here, but you can see that one if you want to see it in more detail. So here I have a couple pieces of the sound deadening material and just tried to add a couple in throughout here. So you can pop off the panels and do just that. And then we will go to the back of the vehicle. So we have our subwoofer and amp set up here. So what I want to do to reduce the road noise here is we're going to remove this container. And then what we will do is lift this up, and you'll see I've already applied some of the sound deadening material here. Now, one quick thing I wanted to note is when you're applying this sound dampening material, especially if you're going on the chassis of the vehicle, make sure that you're applying it in the right areas and also that it's a clean area. So this is an adhesive material, so make sure that you're wiping down the areas you're applying it to. That way it doesn't peel off over time. And if you check the link in the description, I walk through how to remove these back panels, and I applied it above the wheel well there and above the wheel well here as well. So these subs are bolted down so we can lift this up, and you'll see that the sound deadening material goes all the way back. And there's actually more throughout the back of the car so that we're keeping the noise basically contained to the trunk. And then I added some along the trim. So if we open this door, I'm going to be doing this section next. And then if the noise is really bad, you can pull up these little pins and pull up the carpet and try to put it underneath. Again, trying to get as close to the source of the noise as possible. Alright, so I originally wasn't going to do underneath the carpet, but I figured I'd give a quick example, as I'm sure there are many of you who would be interested. So I'm not taking all of the carpet out completely. Most of it you can access pretty easily. So you'll notice when you're taking the trim off the side of your vehicle, there will probably be some pins of some kind. So for me, in this Mazda, I have this little plastic pin. You may damage it a little bit pulling it out, but the idea is you can typically buy these pretty cheaply or just visit a dealer near you. It'll still be good to reuse, at least this time around. So basically, when I pulled the trim off, so I pulled this panel out right here. There was just a single bolt in the back, and then I pulled this piece out here as well. And then you pull out the pin that was right here, and then basically that's the only thing securing the carpet. And you can actually pretty much just pull it up. So you'll see I have a couple sheets already laid down. I'm still kind of working my way back. And then if you're interested, you can pull up the pin here and get underneath this styrofoam plate, which doesn't look like there's much under there, so that might be the next step for me. And if you need to get underneath the seat, you can typically remove the bolts, remove any wires, make sure to disconnect from the power on the vehicle, and then you can take the seat out. Just be careful. It's really easy to catch these metal pieces on other areas of the vehicle, but that will essentially get you underneath the carpet and again help you. You can follow underneath the seat to the back and do the same on the driver's side as well. And then if you want to, the glove boxes are actually typically pretty easy to remove, and you can see if there's anything visible underneath there. But again, that just kind of covers the underside of the vehicle if you decide the wheel wells are not sufficient. Now, if you want, you can pop the hood of the vehicle. I try to avoid doing it in the engine bay just because of the heat buildup and not wanting to damage the vehicle. So the idea is you should be able to pull up any relevant panels on the inside of your vehicle, carpet, underneath the seats, anywhere you have excessive noise, vibration, rattle, access to the outside with minimal dampening material. You would just want to run over top of it or underneath that existing material. So I know that this was really short, but that does cover the basics. And if you want, you can check out that link in the description to see the more detailed video. But I just wanted to give a more high quality video overview just to show you we've already basically taken care of the trunk. If you're going out and driving and you decide, you know what, I'm still hearing a lot of noise, you can go back in and then continue to re-insulate and add in more pieces. I also recommend checking forums online. Some people have done a lot of testing with vehicles and they've determined the ideal placement for smaller pieces because this material can be pricey. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below and I'll see you all in the next video.